So today we'll be solving question number 3 of ISC 2015, and as usual this is a string question. So this
Your
is a
screen is not
relative
shared.
screen is not shared. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Wait. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay. So what I was saying was that this is a relatively simple question compared to other years. So what they are asking us is that they are asking us to convert the first letter of each word to uppercase, which essentially means that we are trying to convert into a title case sort of thing. For example, if you notice over here, intelligence plus character is education, and then here each word, the first character is capital and rest of them are small. And this is happening in the other examples as well. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, and then they are also asking us to display the stats of each word. That means how many vowels, how many consonants. Plus they have one more thing assumption over here, which is that each word will not be more than 15 characters, so that we can easily format. So we can assume that this is, let's say, 15 plus 1 space 16, so that it looks nice. Okay, should we begin?
Yes, sir.
And unlike other years, there's one small change. They have given only 2 characters as terminators. So we'll write a
Okay, sir.
proper object-oriented program like we always do. That means we'll create a class and that will be initialized via a constructor. Then we'll have an isValid method to check the validity, and then we'll overload the toString method so we can display it again with their transformation. And then finally, we'll have one more function for displaying the stats. Any doubts in the question you may ask now?
So I just wanted to ask that we will have to check that each word is under 15 characters. That also we have to
No,
check, or we are assuming
they
that.
are saying that you can assume that.
Okay, sir.
There's no point in doing anything extra. Like for example, they are not saying what will happen if they are repeated words. So we let it repeat.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's begin. So we come over here and we already have the scanner class ready. So let's first display the prompt. So we'll say system.out. We'll take the input from the main and then we'll call the relevant functions which we'll be making. And then we'll say that, okay, input :/t. So this will display the message regarding the input. Then we'll say that, okay, string, have they given any variable for the string? No, that means we can do whatever we want to do. So we'll say that, okay, input is equal to in dot next line. So this will take the entire string. Once that is done, we'll have to display the message output. So we'll go down over here, place it, and then we'll just replace this message. So now we have output printed. Obviously we don't want to print ln over here, we want a print. Now once the output is displayed, our first task is to check for the validity, plus we have to make a class also. So what we want to do is we'll make a class by the name of sentence, right? And within the class sentence, just like we always do, we'll take a private data member, private string, and we'll call it sentence. Then we'll initialize it via a constructor. So we'll say public sentence, and then we'll pass the argument. So we'll say sentence, and then we'll want to store this the parameter which is being passed into the instance variable sentence. So this dot sentence is equal to sentence. So this will take care of the initialization part. Once this initialization is done, the next step is we need to check whether it is valid as per the specification of the question. So we'll make a function is valid, and is valid is actually quite simple. We have to check whether or not the last character is one of the terminators. So we'll create one variable. We'll call it terminators is equal to, and there are 2 terminators which they have given, either a full stop or a question mark. And then we'll just check. We'll say return terminators dot index of, and we'll say the last character of the string. So we'll say sentence dot char at, and here we'll say sentence dot length. So this is
Length
going to
minus 1.
take out the last character, and if that last character is more than or equal to 0, it's valid, otherwise it is invalid. Any doubts
So
in this?
it should be length minus 1.
Oh yes, this should be sentence dot length, and here we have to say minus 1, right?
And sir, do we really need the variable terminators? We can just like use the string there instead of
Yes, we
terminators.
can say so, because this will only be called once. So I'll accept your suggestion over here. So what we'll do, instead of using terminators, we can directly say over here that okay, new string, though we are not getting, I mean, the amount of memory will still remain the same, but yes, the idea is okay. And we'll give the two terminators over here. So if we do this, this will become a one-liner, so we can get rid of this whole line. Yes, is that okay? Any more suggestions?
No, sir.
Though this is not looking very readable, but still okay. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward job. So is valid is done. So now what we need to do, we need to check over here that okay, no, first we need to create an object. So we'll say that okay, name of the class, we'll create an object. We'll say obj sentence is equal to new sentence, and we'll pass the input. Then we'll check if obj dot sentence is valid, then we'll do the normal processing, and this is not dot, this is just obj sentence. Otherwise we'll display the error message. So what was the exact error message? Do you remember?
No, sir.
No. Okay, so let's go and copy paste the error message quickly. So error message is invalid input. So I just go over here, copy it, and we'll paste it over here. So this takes care of the error part. Now once it is valid, we are supposed to do two things. Part A is, where has part A gone? We have to convert the first letter of each word to uppercase. So what we'll do is we'll say system.out.println, and we'll try to print the object. So when you try to do the same, computer will try to convert this object into a string, and for that it will look for a function by the name of toString. So now we'll override the toString method, and in this we'll do the needful job of displaying it. Now in order to display it, let's create a variable. We'll say that okay, output is equal to nothing. Initially we'll have the output as nothing, and when everything is done, we'll return that output, and we have to declare the type also, that's the string. So we'll say string output is equal to nothing. Now we can use sentence over here. We have to strip the last character, but I like to leave this as it is, and we'll just create another string. We'll say string, what to call it, source. We'll say string source is equal to sentence, and we want to get rid of the last character, that is the terminator. So we'll say substring. We'll take everything from the 0th character to the last but one character, which means we'll say over here sentence dot length
minus
1. So it will take everything from beginning from the 0th character till last but one. So the terminator will now be removed. So once this is done, now there are two ways of taking out the words. One is we can take out each character at a time, check for the presence of a space. But since this is a practical examination and we can use any function which is there in the string class, because string is there in the syllabus, so what we can do is we can use the split. And also note that they have clearly said in the question that the words are to be separated by a single blank space. So we'll go down and we'll say that okay, string word list, we'll create an array by the name of word list, and we'll say is equal to source dot split, and we'll split on a space. So as soon as this is executed, computer will split the sentence, and the array word list, or rather each element of the array word list will store one word. If that's clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It is clear.
Now, once this is done, we have to process each word one by one. And for that, we can say that, okay, string word colon word list. So basically, we are using an enhance for to iterate through each word one at a time. Now, what we
Yes.
have to do is that we have to make the first character capital and the rest of the character as small case. So first capital word character capital means that we'll say word dot char at 0. This is always the first character. We want to make it into a capital. So what we'll do, we'll say character dot to uppercase. Obviously, we don't need the ch. So we'll convert the first character into uppercase. Plus, we need to convert the remaining characters. Remaining characters means word dot substring starting from 1. So this is the remaining characters, and we want to convert this into
Lowercase.
lowercase. So we'll say dot to lowercase. So this will be converted into lowercase, and then we want to store this in our output variable, which will be displaying later. So we'll say that output plus is equal to this. Any doubts? We are missing one thing.
Sir,
What's that thing? We need to have
sir,
to have a
word.
space. We need to have a space in between. Yes, you were saying something. Oh, and we forgot the name of the variable over here. Clear? And we are adding one extra space at the end. Now we have to get rid of that extra space at the end. So what we'll do, instead of saying return output, we'll say return output dot.
Output dot trim.
So dot trim will get rid of the last space. So this essentially complete the first part, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So I have a doubt. It's like, sir, we are copying the sentence into. Okay, no, sir. It's fine. Yes, we have to remove the
Last
at
character,
the end.
last character. Yes.
Yes.
Plus, I want that is valid to remain functional even if someone wants to do it. Please understand, when you are creating an object-oriented program, and if there is an is valid method, is valid should work when it is called. If we actually store the sentence after removing the terminator back into the sentence, then the next time that invalid is going to fail, is valid function is going to fail. So that we don't want that. Okay. So that's why I've made a copy. I could have said over here sentence. That would have, I mean, it wouldn't have saved anything as such. Okay. So this is done. So first part is done, right? Should we check it once quickly? So let's go over here.
Okay,
I'll just copy the first sample input. Control C, we go back over here and let's compile and run the program. And it is asking for the input. Control Shift V, we press enter, and the output is intelligence plus character is education, and it's working properly. Other than that, we have got one extra new line which we have to get rid of. Right?
Yes, sir. In the
so
above the object declaration.
So this ln has to go away. So now we'll get the proper output for this part. Now we need one more thing, and that is we want to display the stats. So we'll say that obj sentence dot display stats. Now please understand, we could have done this thing in the toString function itself, but since they have clearly said that we have to do two things, this is part one, this is one task, this is other task, so I'm separating it into two separate functions, right? Otherwise that could have been done as well. So display stats function we have to make. So let's go at the top and we'll have one more function, public void display stats. So now what we need to do, let's see once more. We need to display some header first. This is our header. So let's copy. Now they are saying that the first word is 15 characters, right? They have already told us, so we'll utilize that information. So we'll go over here, and the first thing is we'll say system.out.print. We'll use printf because that will make more sense over here. And what we have to say, we'll have percentage minus 15s. 15 is the length, minus because we want left justification, and s is for string, and let's give one space after this. And after giving that space, what we want to do, we want to display a number. Hold on.
Yes.
we need one number in this width and then another number in this width. So let's say we make it equal. What do you say?
Okay, so it's
So how many characters
fine.
are there in the word consonants? Let's say 15.
Yes, sir. So
Let's
it's actually 10.
10. Okay. And okay, 10 will do. So what we'll do, 15 for the first word, and then we'll say 11, or let's give some breathing space, 12.
Okay,
So
sir.
we'll say percentage minus 12s. That's the second one, and then again percentage minus 12s for the third one, and then we'll pass the three things. So the three things are word, vowels, and the last one is the header consonants. So this will take care of the header. Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Okay, now what's next? We have to again
So we need to add a new line as well, isn't it?
yes, we have to add a new line as well, otherwise everything will come in the same line. Okay, so this is done. So the header has been taken care of. Now what we need to do,
So
again we have to do the
again,
same thing. We have to take out word by word, right?
yes.
So what we can do is we can take I think this is the part which we are interested in more or less. So I'll just copy it and
Yes.
paste it over here, and then we'll remove the extra stuff for the time being.
So we have to do that actually, because in the output everything, the first letter is in capital.
Okay. Or should we store it somewhere else to save some time? What do you say? But then someone may not call toString. They may directly want to call display stat. So that's not a good idea, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but we do need the word, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, sir.
So word is over here. So I'll just say over here that okay, word is equal to this. So that takes care of, no, we can't say word. We'll say, we are doing this twice. I'm not getting a very nice feeling about it, but then we can't make
So we
assumptions
can
also.
make it. So we can make it into another function and then just call it.
But still you have to call that function twice. It will be done twice, so it won't
Yes,
save
sir.
anything. Okay, so let's say what to call this. We are getting words at a time, and now we are making it into title case. Okay, so let's call it title case only, right? So we'll have a variable over here by the name of title case, string title case, and then the title case is assigned, right? So once the title case is assigned, now what we need to do, we need to count how many vowels, how many consonants. So we need a few counters. So I'll take the two counters. I'll say vowels equal to 0. I'll say consonants equal to 0. And why is this C capital? I don't want the C to be capital. So we have the two variables assigned 0. Now we need a function to check whether it is a vowel or a consonant. So let's do it quickly. So we go over here. I say public static boolean, or why it is public, it should be private. We are not calling it from outside. So private static boolean, we'll say is vowel. We'll pass the character ch, and we want to check whether it's a vowel or not. But since this function will be called for each character, we will not declare our vowels over here. We'll declare it over here. So we'll say that okay, vowels equal to, and we'll have a list a, e, i, o, u, a, e, i, o, u. So we go, and this should be actually a static variable, private static string vowels, right? So we go down, and now we'll just say return if this character ch occurs in the list of vowels, it will return 0 or more. So we'll say that if this occurs, that is more than or equal to 0, it's a vowel, otherwise it's not a vowel. We need to count the consonants also, and since spaces and numbers can be entered as well, anything which is not a vowel is not by default a consonant. So we'll say private static boolean is consonant, and again let's have the variable name as ch, and then what we'll do is, now we have to do two things basically. If character dot is letter, if it's a letter, so that numbers, spaces, punctuation marks, etc. are ruled out. If it's a letter and not a
Not as
vowel,
vowel.
then it's a consonant, right? So we go
Yes.
down and now we check. We'll say that if is vowel title case title case dot char at 0, we'll say vowels plus plus. Make sense?
So it should be a loop, isn't it?
What should be a loop? Okay, yes, we have to do it for each
Yes.
character. Right. Sorry. So let's get rid of this line. We need a loop. So we'll say for char ch, no, not char ch, for int position is equal to 0, position is less than
Title case dot length.
title case dot length, and then we'll say position plus plus, and then we'll be taking out one character at a time. We can store it in a variable so as to make it convenient to type. Please understand, char at simply accesses that array location and returns it back. So there's not a huge advantage in terms of time, but still. So ch is equal to title case dot char at position. So we'll take out the character and now we'll check whether this character is a vowel or not. So we'll get back that line which we removed earlier, and we'll say that if is vowel ch, then vowel plus plus, right? That's one check. Then
Yes.
we have to do it
If
for the
is
consonant also. So if,
yes.
and please note, if it's not a vowel, it might or might not be a consonant, so we'll have to use this function. And if that is the case, then we'll say that okay, consonants plus plus. Yes, so we are getting our count, and now we have to display it where? Outside the loop.
Yes, outside
And
loop.
just to make our task easier, we'll just copy this header line and we'll just replace the variable. So we'll bring it down, and incidentally the word is stored in which variable? Title case. Word is stored in title case. The variable for vowels is vowels, and the variables for consonant is consonants. /n is already there, so let's check it out whether it's working or not. So we'll save the program. We'll
So
go.
one thing I wanted to ask,
Yes.
like we have used printf, but we have used the notation for strings in integers also. So it doesn't have any like problem in it.
I think it will convert, but let's be technically correct. So D, and we'll say.
No, so not here. Here we are passing
No,
strings only.
sorry, not over there. Right, exactly. Sorry. Where's the other printf here? So we'll say this is decimal, and we'll say that this is decimal. So that should take care of it. Okay. Now we need to test it for these cases. So what we'll do is we'll copy the input. Let's have a look at the output. Intelligence 57133654. Okay, let's check it out. So we'll run the program. Control Shift V, we press enter, and it's not correct. Why? Because we've never initialized it back to 0, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
yes.
So we'll just copy this line from here, and actually this should be done before the inner loop over here, right?
Yes.
Let's run it Okay, again I have to get the input back, so we'll copy the input from here and we'll run the program once more and we'll paste the input, press enter, and this time there's another error. We missed a semicolon. Okay, we placed a comma over here, which should be
Yes.
actually a semicolon. Sometimes copy paste way more time than it saves. And this is right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's try out the other case also just to be sure. 1 2 1 1 2 3. 1 2 1 1 2 3. This is also working, and the third case will obviously work, but just for the sake of completeness. And run, and we'll paste it over here. Invalid input. Yes. Any doubts or clarifications?
No, sir. It's fine.
Okay, so I'll push it to the repo so that if you want to refer to it later, you can do it. Added solution of ISC 2015 question 3. And in the next class, we'll be discussing 2014 question number 1, whatever it might be.
Okay.
Okay, then that's all for today. Thank you.